Happening now, Jamestown residents speak out, calling for crucial police upgrades. Plus, what legislator is taking a stand against the push to create a constitutional sanctuary from state mandates here in Chautauqua County.
Well, it's going to be a wet go for the later part of the afternoon with a few thunder showers. Some of them could be on the stronger side. We'll talk about it in detail next as the news at noon starts right now.
Live and on demand, this is WNY News Now.
Expired bulletproof vests, the need to replace worn-out police vehicles, and address understaffing issues within the Jamestown Police Department was discussed here last night. Thank you for joining us for WNY News Now. I'm Justin Gould. Around a dozen people spoke directly with local law enforcement and civic leaders during a neighborhood safety night hosted by County Legislator Elizabeth Rankin at Christ First United Methodist Church on the city's north side. This in the wake of a fatal shooting this week. Several residents were concerned with the increase in violent crime over the past years. In addition to public safety in general, officer safety was also a leading topic, with City Councilman Jeff Russell concerned about the number of expired bulletproof vests that are still on the streets.
The manufacturer won't warranty these vests after a period of 5 years. So you have half of the police department that are wearing vests that are outdated. Myself, I wore the same vest for approximately 20 years. So 15 of those years, those vests were outdated.
The former Jamestown police officer is pushing to use some of the $28 million from the American Rescue Plan to improve the department, an idea Jamestown resident Doug Champ supports.
And I've been a dog person, so I'm not against dogs. I just don't think that the city of Jamestown and all its needs, especially when you look at equipment that we don't have available to protect and perform the job the police department needs to do, that a dog park is an essence of public safety.
Explained Champ, who thinks the city should restructure their current spending outline. It is not just the vests that need upgrades, but the police's vehicle inventory, with many cars in poor condition, having over 100,000 miles, and outdated radio equipment as well. Councilman Russell also asked the officers about understaffing concerns. With a current high call volume, many first responders don't even get lunch or dinner breaks.
Ideally, I would like to see exactly what the chief asked for. I believe he asked for 5 more police officers. I would like to see that if possible. But like Councilman Dolt stated, the concern is that after a period of time, are those positions going to be sustainable when that money runs out?
Previously, the mayor's office held several public input sessions to hear directly from residents who brought up those concerns. Among key areas discussed was improving neighborhoods and building a healthy community by providing more resources for those struggling with drug addiction. Well, investigators are trying to identify a duo who crashed into the Silver Creek Dollar General and then stole a safe earlier this week. The Chautauqua County Sheriff's Office says that crime happened at the store located on 1360 Route 5 and 20 back on October 18th around 2:18 a.m. Investigators say 2 unknown people drove a 1991 Chevrolet Blazer into the front of the building, causing damage to the store. The suspects then got out of that vehicle, grabbed a safe from inside, and drove off. The vehicle was later located there in Silver Creek. Anyone with information on the incident is asked to call investigator Vara at 716-753-4910. Well, a Village of Faulkner man is behind bars after allegedly hitting a person with a baseball bat. The Chautauqua County Sheriff's Office saying that 23-year-old Jason Sanchez was arrested following a fight at a residence on Route 394 in Kennedy around 12:30 in the morning yesterday. Following an investigation there, it's alleged that Sanchez struck another person in the head with that bat. The victim, deputies say, was taken to UPMC Chautauqua Hospital for treatment of their injuries. Well, the legislator for Chautauqua County's 11th district here in Jamestown is opposed to creating a constitutional sanctuary as a safe haven from New York State's public health mandates. Incumbent Democrat Robert Whitney is running against Republican challenger Dave Wilfong this fall. Whitney spoke with us as part of an ongoing series to highlight those running for office. He addressed a recent push to create a constitutional sanctuary here in the county, saying that the mandate is state-issued orders and that, in his opinion, things like masking work.
The Democrats have the numbers, but the Democrats don't turn out. And they were complaining about mask wearing, and science shows masks work. And they were complaining about the vaccine, and the funny part of the whole thing was we had a proclamation that night to make October 24th World Polio Day. And then they sat there and talked about how bad vaccines were, so I stood up and asked the question, whatever happened to polio? And I said, all right, the vaccine. And I sat down and I got booed, but...
No, Whitney says as a Democrat, he is in the best position to serve those here in Jamestown, working alongside the mayor, Eddie Sundquist, to advocate for the municipality at a county level.
The Democrats have the numbers, but the Democrats don't turn out. And that's the sad part. I mean, district-wide, we're going to look about 20% of the people are going to vote. 20%, and that's it. That's the sad thing.
Now that's why he is pushing this year to have residents take advantage of early voting, which gets underway this weekend. He's reminding everyone the importance of voting local at the local level with government, specifically because local government has a direct impact on day-to-day life. And a quick programming note for you, a debate featuring the candidates for Chautauqua County Executive is happening this evening. It's co-hosted by WRFA, Media One Group Radio, and WNY News Now. It starts at 8 o'clock, which follows a Meet the Candidates forum, which starts at 6, where you can learn more about those running for Jamestown City Council. Now, following that 2-hour discussion, the county executive candidates, incumbent Republican P.J. Wendell and Democratic challenger Norm Green, will take the stage. Viewers can watch both debate and the forum live here on WNY News Now at WNYNewsNow.com, our mobile app, Facebook page, and channel 716 on Roku. Well, we thank you for joining us for WNY News Now, joining us here live as we get a check of some local news headlines this half hour. It's great to see Natalie, good to see Missy, Sarah, and Dave. Hopefully you're all having a great day out there. We appreciate you tuning in. Well, now let's get a first check of our weather forecast. That's where we find Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter. Hello, Dakota.
Hello, Justin, and hello to all of you. Happy Thursday, so close to that weekend. And boy, a nice shot from the Randolph Peaches and Cream Skycam. But so far we're dry, but that's going to be ending as we go throughout the afternoon hours. You can already see on the radar imagery here, this is a line of showers and some thunderstorms moving across Lake Erie. This is out ahead of a weak surface boundary that's moving out ahead of a strong cold front. So as this boundary moves through, these showers are kind of moving to the northeast. So these are going to arrive through the early afternoon hours and through early and mid-afternoon, and some of them could be strong with some gusty winds. We'll talk more about that a little bit later on. 66 is where we topped out yesterday, started the day at 51, 79, and 21 are the record highs and lows. So through the afternoon, we have the sunshine now. We can actually scratch the word limited off of that because we do have some more sunshine out there now, but showers and thunderstorms arrive through the afternoon, some of them gusty 61 to 68 and still breezy with a south wind. Now this wind changes direction as we go into tonight and tomorrow, and you'll see much cooler air arriving. We'll talk about it in detail with that 7-day forecast later on in the show.
The number of new COVID-19 infections continue to decrease countywide. That's according to the Chautauqua County Department of Health. The Public Health Office released a slew of updated local stats during their weekly report yesterday. Now, last week, officials reported 236 new cases of the virus in what they say is a decreasing trend of infection that compared to 428 new cases reported the week prior. Of the new cases, 73 are here in Jamestown. There are now 255 cases active as of today, with 25 people in the hospital. Now, this is the second week that this trend has been noticed, with an increasing trend reported back in September and August. The 7-day average percent positivity rate is down 5.1%. Yet the CDC level of community transmission still remains high. However, the health department did report 8 COVID-19 related deaths last week, bringing the total number of virus-related deaths since the start of the pandemic to 200. As for vaccinations, 57% of the county's population has received at least one dose of the COVID vaccine, with 52% of people considered to be fully vaccinated. Of the new cases last week, 52% of those were not vaccinated. Well, more data, more decisions. The FDA just signing off on emergency use for 2 new boosters and combining COVID-19 vaccines. Now it's up to the CDC to finalize that move. Britt Conway explains some of the reasonings behind their decision with a look ahead at what else is in the works.
Moderna's booster, Johnson & Johnson's booster, and the possibility of mix and match boosters, all FDA authorized, and now all in the hands of the CDC's vaccine advisors. If they give the thumbs up, it's up to the CDC's director to make recommendations, and shots could be in arms in a matter of days. Evidence of waning vaccine immunity is what the FDA says drove its decision here. But for now, boosters are only for people 65 and older and certain at-risk groups, though that could soon change.
We will not hesitate to drop this age range as we see that benefit clearly outweighs the risk.
I think that data is really emerging that people over 40 probably would benefit. And over time, I can imagine even younger people getting it. My guess is that we're all going to eventually end up needing boosters, but we should be driven by the data.
And it's data from the NIH that drove the FDA's call on mixing and matching shots. There's also an element of convenience.
Some people may not be able to easily access a booster that's the same as what they got before, and because of patient preference.
Not to mention data that shows a particular benefit of mixing and matching for people who got the Johnson & Johnson vaccine.
We know that the mRNA vaccine will give them a better immune response, and this is already in practice.
And practice could soon line up with policy. I'm Britt Conway reporting.
Coming up, police in Jamestown cracking down on child pornography, the latest arrest made just this month. And later, will the nationwide supply shortage impact local snow cleanup this winter? We take a look as WNY News Now continues.
With coverage that matters, this is WNY News Now.
What could you lose in a home fire? Your possessions? Your home? Your memories? Don't let your world go up in smoke. Make sure you have working smoke alarms and practice an escape plan for you and your loved ones, because fire is everyone's fight.
This message was brought to you by the Jamestown Fire Department and the Chautauqua Safety Village.
EagleZip.com is your local one-stop shop for all of your home and business computer needs. Located on Fluvan Avenue Extension, just outside of Jamestown, EagleZip.com sells and services all brands of desktops and laptops, as well as servers and network equipment for your business. All new computer sales include transferring your data from your old computer, plus a 2-year warranty. Call EagleZip.com today.
Stop by EagleZip.com today and let us make computers easy for you.
Welcome to Honest John's Pizzeria, where you are the most important customer.
Everything from freshly made subs to the best of pizza and wings, Honest John's has it all.
And don't forget the ice cream!
Order online today or check out our 2 great locations with buffets ready for every appetite.
Don't I have the best job in the world?
Located along the Amish Trail, the Randolph Retail Company offers a variety of clothing, jewelry, and gifts for any occasion. Offering uptown merchandise at small-town prices, our locally owned business balances quality and value. With complimentary gift wrap here at the Randolph Retail Company, we pride ourselves in personal service. Check out our Facebook page or stop in today at 127 Main Street, Randolph, just a 20-minute drive from Jamestown.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
Well, there's a possible end to the search for Brian Laundrie. The FBI says human remains were found in a nature reserve yesterday, along with personal items belonging to him. But as they wait to officially identify the body, questions linger about his possible involvement in the death of his fiancée, Gabby Petito. Daryl Forges is in Northport, Florida, with the latest on the discovery.
Throughout the day today, we've seen law enforcement come in and out of the scene here in Northport, Florida at the Carlton Reserve, which is a massive reserve here in Florida. Now, at this point, they're continuing their investigation, but the big question still remains. Do those remains belong to Brian Laundrie? And according to the family attorney of Brian Laundrie, they believe it's highly likely. 37 days after Brian Laundrie was reportedly last seen, human remains were found in a Florida park.
Probability is strong that it is Brian's remains.
A source close to the investigation says it may take some time to officially identify the remains based on their condition.
These items were found in an area that up until recently have been underwater.
The grim discovery made on the day Laundrie's parents were assisting in the search for their son. According to the family's attorney, Laundrie's father also stumbled upon some of his son's personal items.
At some point, Chris locates what's called a dry bag. The dry bag is a white bag laying in the woods, I'll say 20 feet or so off the trail. At that time, law enforcement officers showed him a picture on the phone of a backpack that law enforcement had located also nearby.
Brian Laundrie is considered a person of interest in the death of his fiancée, Gabby Petito. Laundrie refused to talk to law enforcement when Petito's parents reported her missing. Then days later, he also disappeared. His parents gave investigators tips on where Brian liked to hike and camp in the extensive Carlton Reserve, but have otherwise been silent on the advice of their attorney.
Now's not the right time to talk about, the situation with Gabby. Right now, we're going to wait for the forensic results to come in, and, we may revisit this in the future.
Now, the FBI says that their forensics team will be out here on the scene for several days to continue their investigation. In Northport, Florida, I'm Daryl Forges.
Well, New York State police investigators are cracking down on child pornography with 3 separate arrests over the past weeks here in Jamestown. In September, 43-year-old Dunkirk resident Joseph Campbell was charged with 10 counts of possession of obscene sexual performance by a child. Police say that their computer crime analysis team allegedly found hundreds of images of child pornography on his computer. Meanwhile, 42-year-old Jamestown man Amis Wright was charged with 15 counts of possessing an obscene sexual performance by a child. Likewise, it's alleged that thousands of images and videos were located on his electronic devices. And finally, just that last week, a 53-year-old Jamestown man, Kevin Coffey, was charged with 8 counts of possession of an obscene sexual performance by a child. And he allegedly uploaded pornography to his Skype account as well. Investigators also say that they found 8 images of child pornography on him. However, unlike the other 2 suspects, it's alleged that Coffey also allegedly chatted with an underage female online. Well, New York Governor Kathy Hochul has signed 2 pieces of legislation which aim to increase online safety, including establishing punishable offenses for so-called revenge porn. The first measure creates a task force to explore and address impacts of cyberbullying. The task force will determine the prevalence of cyberbullying and make recommendations on how to prevent it. The next piece of legislation will expand the definition of coercion to include production and distribution of intimate images. This amendment would hold those who coerce another person into producing or distributing intimate images under a physical or emotional harm accountable under law. Well, after a chaotic stretch of starts and stops, Capitol Hill Democrats are stepping up the urgency for compromise on President Biden's massive agenda. But there's still a long way to go. Karen Kafa has the latest at what's in and what's out of the plan from Washington.
Democratic leaders inching toward a legislative framework for President Joe Biden's social spending plan.
We're getting closer to an agreement. We want to finalize a deal by the end of this week, but we all must keep moving together.
To move in tandem with the bipartisan infrastructure plan by the end of the month.
We are all feeling very positive about the coming together that is clearly
occurring as we land these planes.
Amid discussions between the White House and congressional Democrats, sources say areas for compromise on the social safety net and climate bill include dropping Biden's plan for tuition-free community college, an extension of the child tax credit for just 1 year, and likely with means testing to satisfy moderate Democrats. A reduction in proposed funding for elderly and disabled home care, and scaling down Biden's paid leave proposal for workers to 4 weeks from 12. The plan's price tag now around $2 trillion. That's higher than the $1.5 trillion targeted by West Virginia Democrat Joe Manchin, a key Senate swing vote, lower than the $3.5 trillion initially sought by progressives.
The Speaker has been clear on our priorities, and I think most of them are her priorities as well.
Democrats hope to pass both bills by October 31st and post a victory before Election Day on November 2nd to boost party prospects, like in the tight Virginia governor's race. In Washington, I'm Karen Kafa.
Fast, accurate, and everyday. First Defense Weather.
Well, it was a little bit breezy out there yesterday, but at least it was mild, so that breeze didn't feel all that bad. 21 miles per hour was the peak wind gust at the airport yesterday, and it's still going to be a breezy day out there today. So let's talk about what's coming up here. So we have thunder boomers arriving later in the afternoon today, and we'll show that to you on Future Scan here in a second. We're knocked back into reality for the rest of the week and into the weekend. Not a total washout this weekend, but you will be dodging some raindrops, and seasonable fall-like air returns as we go into next week. We've got some sunshine downtown right now, 63 as a noon hour, a south wind of 14, but it's still breezy with that wind gust of 18 miles an hour at the airport. So something we mentioned yesterday, and we're going to mention it again because it is a threat. The Storm Prediction Center continues to have all of the southern tier in northwestern Pennsylvania under a low-end marginal risk. That's a level 1 on a scale of 1 to 5, and the overall severe weather risk today is rather low. But again, a couple storms through the late afternoon could be a little bit stronger with some gusty winds. This is the first line of showers that's moving across Lake Erie right now, just offshore the Lake Erie right now, and this is going to be moving to the west-northwest or the northeast as we work through the afternoon hours. And as we mentioned, this is all sparked out ahead of a trough. That orange line is a trough, but this is the bigger cold front that arrives tonight, and that front brings us a big change to the weather patterns. Let's show that to you on Future Scan here. Notice the clouds thickening up through the afternoon. Here comes that first round of showers and thunderstorms with the trough, and again, those could be a little bit strong to severe. Then we may see another round of showers and thunderstorms moving on through the late afternoon and evening hours. Then those taper off overnight, leading to just a few showers, maybe a few lake effect showers setting up as the wind shift back to the north-northwest right across that warm water of Lake Erie. Then tomorrow we should have a relatively dry day, and then we should turn a little bit wetter again for the weekend. 64 at 2 o'clock with a few rain showers. By the time we go into the early evening hours, 61 with a few rumbles, and then those showers and thunderstorms will continue through the early evening hours. And then the future is right there on the screen. 51 tomorrow. We'll keep the lower 50s in place through the weekend again. Not a total washout. Showers on Monday, then turning drier and a little bit warmer through mid next week. Take a break. Be right back.
With coverage that matters. This is WNY News Now.
I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor.
Testicular cancer is the leading form of cancer in men aged 15 to 35.
1 in 250 men will be diagnosed with testicular cancer.
But 98% will survive if detected early.
As a survivor, I believe early detection is the key. Learn how to do a testicular self-exam and other important facts about testicular cancer at oneball4tc.com.
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
He makes fun of his friend who vapes.
He would never try it.
She's into soccer.
She's on the honor roll.
She's just not the type.
No way.
No way.
No way.
No way. My kid would never vape.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping. Maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
You're watching WNY News Now. your source for breaking news.
Well, it's a beautiful fall day, but winter is just around the corner. So, will the supply chain challenges plaguing retailers affect things you'll need? Lisa Adams with our news partner WNY News Now visited a regional hardware store to see if supply chain issues are affecting their stock.
We've all been watching the nation's supplies pile up in western ports, a backup that will take months to relieve. Contractors like John Swank from Empire Construction and Snow Management have been feeling it.
A lot of the things like our conduit pipe and stuff like that are hard to get right now. We're looking at between 4 and 6 weeks for just specialized pipe coming through to run wires through for buildings.
But at Duccini Ace Hardware, where they draw on supplies stocked at Ace warehouses, they're pretty well set. We found them switching over shelves from summer products to space heaters and weather stripping kits. Manager Teresa Kalinowski said there are a few things they can't get, certain sizes of salt, but they can work around it.
I can't get the 10-pound bag, but I can get the 10-pound jug. So it compensates, and the retails are pretty close.
Now, as far as things like snow shovels and snow brushes, Teresa says that Duccini's has some left over from last year, and they're expecting this year's order to come in next week.
Right now, I'm in the middle of the transition, but within the next 2 weeks, we should have everything ready to go.
While contractors have had to plan well ahead for winter,
We had to proactively order salt almost 2 months ago to ensure that it was going to be here by the beginning of next month even.
regular customers need not panic.
When the snow starts flying and you need the salt, come in and get it. We're going to have it.
Lisa Adams, WNY News Now.
Lisa, thank you. Some good news, I suppose, that we will be prepared either way. But I imagine most people, Northwest PA, Western New York, probably have snow shovels. But, you know, I actually specifically need a new snow brush. I got a new car, and I was like, you know, this one's kind of getting a little dingy. You know how they start to fall apart? And I'm like,
I'll
only
order the best of the best for your new ride.
Right. I'll order one. But the issue is it's like, it's literally on Amazon. It's unavailable right now. So I don't know if like they're trying to get supplies or what, but it's kind of the more difficult thing. I might just end up going to a local store. But let us know what you guys think about this and more in the comments down below. Is that something that you're concerned with? Something that you're not too concerned with? I mean, I suppose as long as you have salt and shovel, you should be good, hopefully. Good to see Linda, good to see Carm, and Joanne as well. Hopefully you're all having a great day. Luckily, no snow, though, right now.
Now, the one thing is, as we get into the winter and people start using the salt, obviously salt their steps and the sidewalks, will there be a shortage of salt?
That's a good question.
During the winter season when we really need it?
Hopefully not. Hopefully not. I hope not, anyways. But we don't need salt right now. But we all know it's coming. That's the thing. And that's the other thing too. Is like salt. I know I believe you can use it multiple years, right? You can stockpile it. I think.
I think so. Yeah.
So maybe you already have some in your garage. You should get some. Maybe that's what I should do. Is I should go to a hardware store.
Just be a hoarder.
Get the salt. Yeah. Hopefully it's not gonna be like one of those things where we're like water bottles and all that stuff from toilet paper.
Right, yeah.
Yeah,
just be a hoarder. Take it all for yourself. Tomorrow, Jamestown is going to be up in Amherst for another football game. Looking great, no weather hassles. Upper 40s, might be a little chilly, so if you're going to the game, I would probably bring a light sweater.
Yeah, probably a good idea. No snow, though.
No.
So that's good. I don't think they have, I mean, we've probably seen it before, right, where you see, especially the NFL, they'll have games where there'll be snowing and things like that.
Yeah.
But not so much for local. I mean, not now anyways, unless it's like a playoff game.
Right. I mean, now since football's back on its normal schedule, I mean, I don't know. That'd be interesting to look up.
Yeah. How many games have they had snow? Have they not had snow here locally?
We'll look into it.
Yeah. Certainly something to keep our eyes on, Dakota. Thank you, and we thank you for watching us here on WNY News Now as we get a check of local news, local weather, and all of that. And I want to remind you that tonight, if you missed it at the top, we are participating in a county executive debate and a Meet the Candidates forum, which is taking place at the Reggie Linnaeus Center for the Arts. The Meet the Candidates forum is 2 hours, starts at 6 and then continues into 7 o'clock. And then at 8 o'clock, we have the county executive debate where I will be on the panel along with WJTN's Terry Frank and WRFA's Julia Cecil-Handley. So hopefully we can have you join us right here. And then we'll be providing coverage of what was said at all of that tomorrow right here on the program. So we hope to join you. Hope you can join us for that as we continue to tackle election 2024. Well, that's it for us today. We'll leave you with this last look over Randolph Peaches and Cream. Last look, last looks. We're back tomorrow. Have a great day.
We're ready for the weekend.
Right. Today's only Thursday, right?
Yes.